Okay, I kind of want to look at these. Oh, and I'm going to turn off the tunes. There is a bunch, all from post. These are all post rotation, right? And there's a bunch of different winners. You see, there's a lot of like Marnie's Grimmsnarl here. I see like two Marnie's Grimmsnarls. This looks like Grimmsnarl. Yeah, Grimmsnarl, Monkey Dory, Grimmsnarl, Frostlass, Grimmsnarl, Dragapult. There's a bunch of Mega Lucarios. I thought this one was very interesting. I see a Mega Blaziken Dragapult, or a Blaziken Dragapult EX one. Dragapult EX, Blaziken EX. So I don't know how many I put aside, but here we go. There's a bunch. I want to look at what new decks have emerged and what support older decks have gotten. So I'll just kind of look through some of these and see if there's anything interesting in here. The first thing I see is the big winner. The winner for this this Gifu City League was Marnie's Grimmsnarl. It was Grimmsnarl, Monkey Dory, probably Frostlass as well. Yeah. This is like the pile. It's been this way for a long time. I don't actually see too many major changes in this list. Of course, now we're seeing the 2 Judge instead of the Ionos. The Morty's Conviction, I think this is something they've always played, right? Or you play it as like a one of, a tech one of, nothing super crazy. Pokemon Catcher, because Counter Catcher's gone. Now you have to play a shitty ass coin flip card. Pretty funny. The new Snorunt. Is this the new Snorunt? This is Eye Block. So this is from Mega Dream. Yeah, this is, I believe that's from Mega Dream. The one Badu Maractus has been in the list for a long time. 4 Monkey Dories to spread around the damage. The Blood Moon or Saloon to close out games. Nothing new there. 2 Air Balloon. 3 of the Pokepad. This card is very strong. This gets you everything outside of your Grimmsnarl EX. Every other card in the list outside of Grimmsnarl EX, Pheasantipity, you want to get that off Ultra Ball, or same thing with Blood Moon or Saloon. But everything else you can grab with Pokepad. So it's cool to see that they're playing 3 of this. It feels really weird seeing Pokemon Catcher, but I guess it's either that or nothing at all. Let's take a look at some other things in this tournament. Maybe we could also look at the second place list, which is another old deck that's been around for a while, and that's Garchomp. That's Cynthia's Garchomp EX. And here, there's nothing super new, right? Cynthia's Power Weight, I think this has existed for a while. This is Eye Block, so this is not new. The normal line of Cynthia's monsters or Cynthia's Pokemon is exactly the same. Once again, the 4 Pokepad this time, right? Fighting Gong, 4 Pokepad. The 1 Hilda, this card's new. I actually don't know what this does. Attach 2 basic energies from one of your discards. If you have, this is Rose's Encouragement. Yeah, this card's really good, especially for something like Dragapult. It's probably also good here. You don't really need boss in a deck that's spreading as wide as Marnie's Grimmsnarl. If you were wondering why there was no boss in the last list, very good question, Jaden. Thank you. Rose's Encouragement is really good if you're playing a stage 2 deck that needs basics to attack and you're behind, right? This deck, and this is also a card that probably Dragapult can use relatively efficiently. If you are behind, you can attach 2 basic energies from your discard pile to one of your stage 2 Pokemon. This lets you attack with this lets you load up your Cynthia's Garchomp for Draconic Buster. Yeah, and you discard the energy from this card, which is generally a problem, usually sucks, but you can get them right back with the Rose's Encouragement if you're still behind. So this is really good. Corkscrew Dive. I think Corkscrew Dive is an extremely strong attack, especially if you can get started off early. Corkscrew Dive goes crazy. Don't forget about Champion's Call. Very good. This gets you any Cynthia's Pokemon. So this is going to be the line that's going to get you into your Cynthia's Garchomp, your Pokepads will get you everything else. We'll get you the Roselias, the Roads, the extra Gibbles if you need them. But Gabai will always just grab you the Cynthia's Garchomp. There's a lot of power in this deck. Draconic Buster is really good. And you have to remember that Cynthia's card, what kind of support did Stage 1 decks get? We'll see. Let's take a look. I'll try to find a new upper energy. Very good there. I'll try to see if I can find a in Zoroark list. There's got to be a couple. Premium Power Pro is really good for Cynthia's Garchomp EX. I don't know if you guys remember that. This is the fighting type Pokemon. So you get the access to the 4 PPPs. You get to, touch your PP. 30 more damage on top of an attack. Cynthia's Garchomp does, Draconic Buster already does 260. 260 plus 30 is already 290. With Rose Raid, you get an additional 30. So with Rose Raid, only one, they stack. But with a Rose Raid plus 1 Premium Power Pro, you're already getting to the 300, getting to 320. That's very powerful. 1 or 2 more Premium Power Pros or 2 Rose Raids, 2 Premium Power Pros is enough to knock out almost anything in the format. Cynthia's Garchomp EX draws you cards when you attack with it as long as you're lowering your hand, getting a lot of stuff done. This deck is so consistent and efficient that it's not even playing Ultra Ball, as you can see here. Doesn't really need it. Ultra Ball does feel good, I will say. Ultra Ball feels good in a list like this. I'm very sad that it's not in there because Cynthia's Garchomp will just get you those cards back anyway, reducing your hand size, playing like maybe Double Night Stretcher, and trying to draw. But look at all these consistency pieces you have. This is why it feels so weird, right? You have the four Fighting Gong to get your Gibbles, your Gabites. You have your 4 and your Fighting Energy. You have the 4 Pokepad, you have the 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin. All amazing consistency cards. That is 12 cards. This looks like a deck I'd play. I also like Cynthia's Garchomp. Kind of want to build it. It looks very cool. Cynthia's Spiritomb is like a 1 prize attacker in the late game. This attack does 10 damage for each damage counter on all of your benched Cynthia's Pokemon. So if they can get your Cynthia's Garchomp really low, put a lot of damage counters on it, you bring in your Spiritomb. This has free retreat, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. This thing has free retreat. But you would bring in your Cynthia's Spiritomb and attach a basic Fighting Energy and kill something. Something just dies off you, this 1 prize attacker, to kind of offset the prize trade. The 2 judge as the hand disruption because, of course, it's the only form of hand disruption right now. Cynthia's Power Weight to make your Garchomp even stronger by 70 HP, making it a 400 HP Mon. Very powerful. I could even see if you want to make the fighting focus of the deck a little more honed in, I could see a 2-2 split of the Solrock Lunatone because you have so many Fighting Energy. Probably wouldn't be. Mega Sharpedo is the same way. Mega Sharpedo, except it's a stage 1 and it's even bigger, right? But Garchomp is fast. In Pokemon lore, it makes sense that he's for retreat. Kind of scary, but it makes sense. I like this list. This looks like something I'd play post-rotation, personally. I think this is really cool. I already own the best deck in the format. Right now, the BDIF is looking to be Dragapult. There's so many Dragapult lists here. We'll worry about it later. We've knocked out this first City League. Let's look through another one, see if there's more cool winners and, top 4s we can find here. So here's another one. We have Team Rocket's Pokemon, and we have Alakazam to look at in this. So let's see if there's something cool in this Team Rocket Spidops list. Nothing too out of the ordinary when it comes to Team Rocket Spidops, right? The 4 Spidops, the 4 Tarantula, 2 Articuno, 2 Mimikyu, 1 Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX, the Sneasel, Murkrow, and Wobbuffet. I like the tech of the Liz Clefairy here. It makes sense. It's a basic Pokemon, super easy to get. The 3 Palpad, because everything outside of the Mewtwo EX and the Clefairy, you're basically going to be able to grab. Counter Gain is staying in the format. I didn't think about that. Team Rocket's Energy is really good here, but I don't think that there's a way to search it. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's an inherent way to search it. You do have a boss's order in Team Rocket's Giovanni, so that's pretty good. And then you have Team Rocket's Factory, which draws you 2 cards if you use a Team Rocket supporter that turn. So all of your supporter line gets you additional things, get additional draw power, which makes the offset of Ultra Ball not feel so bad. Once again, the 3 Pokepad. This card is so good for anyone who doesn't know what it does. Search your deck for a Pokemon that doesn't have a Roblox, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is Nest Ball for anything. This is not Nest Ball. This is Ultra Ball for any non-EX Mega or VMAX or V, right? This is a powerful card. This is the best ball on crack. Yeah, exactly. This is, if you handed an iPad kid a Pokeball, he would just turn it into an iPad. That's what this is. The double Brave Bangle makes sense. Energy Switch and Night Stretcher. I like this list. It's very honed in, toned, and slim. It's streamlined. There's another Team Rockets list. We haven't seen it yet, but there's a new Team Rockets list with Murkrow and Team Rockets Porygon Z. I'm hoping to see some of that here. Here is another list that's been around for a long time. Let's see how much Alakazam does own to our changes. I already own this deck. I think this deck's really fun, and it gets even better post-rotation because some of its worst matchups like rotate out. Actually, I think that it does really good versus Golden, but it does awful versus Gardevoir EX, and that's going to be gone. All right, so now we get the new Psychic. We get the Psychic Buddy Buddy Poffin. This card is insane. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides Psychic Energy. When you attach this card from your hand to one of your Psychic Pokemon, you may search for up to 2 basic Psychic Pokemon, put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Dude, this card is crazy. The hardest counter to this deck, and Iono, the hardest, most consistent counter to this deck, and Iono is rotating. Zeros's Machinations is still existing. Unfair Stamp is still existing. And we're getting a new grass type counter to this deck that's a stage 1 that might shake up how strong this deck could be, but I could see this deck staying the best single prize attacker deck and even moving up in the tiers with a card like Pokepad existing and a lot of its stronger things rotating out. Still the 5 to 6 energy count. The 1 switch I think is pretty good. 2 enhanced armor, you don't want to die to missed energy. Double Night Strikers, set your Sacred Ash, 2 Wonders patch. This list is very similar to something I would play. Personally, I would probably also be on maybe a 2 boss, 3 Hilda split here to fit in additional copies of Lily's Determination. Lily's Determination really is great, but I guess Lily's Determination feels less necessary when you are no longer having to deal with Iono as consistently. I do like the 4 Pokepad that gets you Fan Rotom, which gets you all your duns and Duduns parses. This gets you every part of the Alakazam line. This gets you Psyduck. This gets you Shaman. This deck is consistent, smooth, and feels like it's going to run perfectly in this format. The 4 Battle Cage to help against Dragapult, because Dragapult is probably the hardest matchup for the deck now, and then the Psyduck and Shaman as well. You have all of the counters to the BDIF. I think Alakazam has a real shot to continue seeing play and even exceeding where it was in the previous format. Let's look at the next tournament. Here we go. We have a list. We have some interesting stuff in this top 4. We see a Mega Sharpedo, and we see the Frostlass Monkey Dory deck with Starmie, Mega Starmie, and we also see a Dragapult. Let's see what kind of Dragapult this list is, because I don't see, this is an interesting Dragapult list. There is not a single ghost in this list. This is a ghostless list. This is Slowpolt. This is Monkey Dory Polt. This is, I don't know what you would call this, but this is a different, smoother, streamlined version of Polt that doesn't require the Dusk line. And it's really interesting. I've seen decks like this without Polt. I mean, without the Ghost line, without the Dusk line, even in our current format in America. But this is going to get even stronger because now you'll have access to the 4 Pokepad. Unfair Stamp is a great A-spec for this deck. I think that knowing that you're lowering your opponent's hand size and then immediately you're able to get those cards back off something like the Dracloaks, powerful. A 4-4-3 split for the Dragapult line, 1 Shaman, 1 Psyduck, 1 Latias. No Blood Moon Ursaluna because, of course, you're no longer trading with the ghosts anymore. The Pheasantipity, Maractus, 2 Monkey Dories, and an Azeluf. I'm really surprised to see the Monkey Dory in here. This means you have to play the basic Dark Energies, but you do have the 2 Crispin to search them. I could see, instead of playing 3 Brock Scouting, which is basically your 5th, 6th, and 7th copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin, but also searches you Dracloak, it's half of a Hilda. You could see half of a Hilda is probably the best way to put that, right? Instead, you could also, it's even better actually, because you can get Latias EX, you can get Pheasantipity, you can get Monkey Dory. It's definitely better than Buddy Buddy Poffin. It's stronger, but it's also your supporter for the turn. I could see a two split of those, and then the Team Rocket's Petrol coming out for you to potentially get a couple of Hildas, right? Hilda will let you get to your Team Rocket's Petrol is really good for Unfair Stamp, actually. So it's kind of hard. I can see trying to squeeze into this list some way to get Hilda as well, so you can get an energy for the Monkey Dory plus your Dracloak. Or you can get an energy to finish off your Dragapult line plus your Dragapult, right? That seems very impactful, and there's no real way to do that. You're having to minus consistently to get to your Dragapult almost every time. Your Brock Scouting can get you just the Dragapult, but won't get you the energy. Your Ultra Ball will get you Dragapult, but will always lose you 2 cards in the process. Team Rocket's Petrol is a good one of. Maybe the Kieran is the cut. Maybe 3 Lily's Determination. There's some number of things that could change in this list, but I like the energy count. I like everything that I'm seeing in this list. Once again, the 4 Pokepad, because you're getting everything in the deck outside of the 5 EXs. You're playing everything else in the deck is searchable off Pokepad. And this list looks very very smooth lined. I like it. Well, let's take a look at this Mega Sharpedo list. We'll try to find one of these Mega Starmie, Mega Frostlass lists later. I don't know if that's Mega Frostlass or if that's Frostlass, like regular. Let's take a look at the Sharpedo list. I don't know how much the Sharpedo list would have changed Prime Catcher is still the A spec, Gravity Mountain to make things weaker because you're not playing any stage 2s. The Team Rocket's Petrol to search for your Prime Catcher, of course. The 3 Judge as your hand disruption, 2 Hilda to search for your Evolve forms, which means you're getting your Toxtricity, you're getting your Mega Sharpedo EX, you're getting your Lopunny. The Petron is still in the format, so you can move things around very easily. I like that. Yveltal is an easy way to get Mega Lopunny loaded up and going. As you guys know, if you don't know, you would Pecharunt your Yveltal into the active. Then, because Yveltal has free retreat, you would bring it back to the bench and put your Mega Lopunny up, place an energy on it, allowing you to Gale Thrust for that 230 for that 230 damage. Very big attacker, easy to knock out things like Phesandipides, like opposing Petarunts, all of the smaller supporter style Mon. This card's really good for. The 2 Pokepad, I think this is mainly to get the Dunsparces, which I've never seen Dunsparce to Dunsparce as an engine in this list, but it's nice to have the extra drop power. I can respect it. I like that. Carvanha, it's a basic, you get it off of Buddy Puff, and it's also strong enough. You have to remember this is strong enough to kill a Budu in the mirror. When it comes to like the early game attacking, pretty impactful. The 2 Hilda, once again, searches you an energy in any of your Evolve forms. The Petrol, 4 Liz's Determination, 3 Boss. This definitely seems like the kind of deck where Boss is very important because you want to try to get as many quick knockouts as you can early with the Mega Sharpedo, plus Monkey Dory pinging things down. I like this list a lot. It's really cool seeing a shark and a bunny be best friends. Those are the real only 2 main attackers. You have the Yveltal in the early game to clutch things, or in the mid game when you're trying to lock them out of being able to continue to play. No switch here in this list. Same thing can happen to you. Be very careful. And then the 2 Pecharunt as late game attackers plus mobility. And mobility is very helpful with Mega Lopunny. Mega Sharpedo already has all the mobility it needs. I think this is an interesting list. We'll take a look at the next tournament. So here we have Greninja in the top 2 and Mega Lucario. What an interesting top 4. Mega Lucario, Greninja Mega Starmie, Dragapult. I don't see ghosts again, right? There's a couple down here with the ghost line, but it doesn't seem like the ghost line is good enough for these decks to make it into the top cut. And then Festival Lead. So we'll even take a look at Festival Lead. This one might be the one where I take a look at 3 lists instead of 4. There's another list down at 16th place I kind of want to look at. I don't know what this Mega Starmie EX Dusk deck is. I kind of want to take a look at that. So we'll start with the Mega Lucario list. The 3 Pokepad, the 3 Ultra Ball, nice 3-3 split for 6 consistency cards. 10 consistency cards when you look at the Fighting Gong as well. The Premium Power Pros, Double Night Stretcher, switch so you don't get caught in the active and stuck. Team Rocket's Watchtower to make basic Pokemon lose all abilities. Makes sense. You don't have any in this deck. A full fighting deck, Gravity Mountain. A nice way to knock down some of those stronger stage 2s that are EXs that are hard for Mega Lucario to kill without multiple Premium Power Pros. The Double Air Balloon for mobility. Wally's Compassion to heal your Mega Lucario. Those energies go back into your hand, which isn't the worst thing in the world. That means you can Soul Rock Lunatone away 1. You can attach 1 with the Mega Lucario again, and Aura Jab, start swinging and re-accelerating the energy. The Boss's Order, of course. You have technically 4 copies of Boss's Order when you look at Hariyama plus Boss's Order. The 4 Judge for the hand disruption, the 4 Lily's Determination. This list is smooth, streamlined. I have nothing negative to say about this. I should build this list. I need to get the new cards that this guy's playing and use this list. I actually don't like Heroescape. I think you're actually probably better off with Max Belt to hit harder with Lucario, but I understand, right? You're making your Pokemon stronger and you're making their Pokemon weaker with the Gravity Mountain. It checks out. It's just not for me personally. I want this Mega Lucario to punch shit, right? It's a fighting type Mon. He's got that dog in him. I want him punching shit. Now, of course, the Soul Rock Lunatone as the early game attackers. Remember, another one of these basic Pokemon that is an evolution that kills Budu in the early game, right? They Itchy Pollen you one time. You had your Riolu in the active. You punch that, and then you can get started. You evolve it into the Mega Lucario because it is a stage 1, and you can start Aura Jabbing and getting energy back already. Same thing with something like a Soul Rock, another easy way to kill in the early game. Oh, this list is different from something I play. It's playing 3 Soul Rock, 2 Lunatone. But I think the reason why, because I've seen splits where it's 3 Makuhita, 2 Hariyama, 2 Soul Rock, 2 Lunatone. Instead, they cut the third Makuhita and had a 3rd Soul Rock instead. I actually really like that. I didn't think about it because Fighting Gong and Palpad. That is 7 ways that don't require discarding cards to get to the Soul Rock Lunatone combo, turn 1. And you can make up 1 prize board state for a decent little chunk of the game in the beginning or the end before you really bring down that Mega Lucario for the Mega Braver or Jab to accelerate energy like crazy. I could see 1 or 2 copies of like something like Right on this list. It's not super necessary because Wally's Compassion lets you heal your Lucario. I think this list is really, really solid. I'm surprised to not see Baronicle in this list, but maybe it's not necessary. This isn't a super high energy fighting deck. Wild Press does require a lot of energy. It requires 3 and it's 210 attack, but you're going to be able to load up that Makuhita before evolving into Hariyama with something like a Mega Lucario EX with all the discards you're getting off the Soul Rock Lunatone to draw cards. This is an interesting list. It doesn't look too dissimilar from a Mega Lucario list that exists now that I would have in my fucking backpack. I own Mega Lucario, by the way. Let's take a look at this Greninja Mega Starmie list. I have a friend who's swearing by that Festival Lead and Mega Lucario are going to get so much better after rotation, and let's see how it looks. So we have the 3-2-2 split. Of course, the Pidgeot line is gone, but we do see the Starmie and the Mega Starmie. The Starmie is Buddy Buddy Poffinable. That's really good. Or the Staryu is Buddy Buddy Poffinable. The 2-2 split, almost not too dissimilar from something like Megalopoly. The 2-2-2 on the Dusk line, Latias EX, Pheasantipity EX, and now we see a new card. This Buddy was here as well, but we see a new card. We see the Meowth EX with the Trump card catch. Once per turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to the bench, you may use this ability. Search your deck for 1 supporter card, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. You cannot use this ability if you used another Trump card ability in its another ability with Trump card in its name this turn. This card is really good. This is Tapu Lele all over again. Tapu Lele or Lumineon all over again. You're going to be able to search for any of the 1 of or 2 of supporters you need in that instance early in the game or late in the game to close out the game. Right? You search for something early, they play theirs late, they search for a boss, they bosses up, they kill it, you lose the game. That shit might happen, but it lets consistency be at the 4 focus on the front of your supporter line. I think that's really impactful. The 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin, 4 Ultra Ball, 3 of the Pokepad. Pokepad's great because you're playing the full line of the Dusk. You also have the Buddy you can try to get early or Starmie. Also, those things are Buddy Buddy Poffinable. So I think really what you're looking for here is the evolutions like the Frogadiers, the Dusclops, the Dusknors. 3 Rare Candy for your Greninja EXs and for your Frogadier. And for your Dusknor. Makes sense. The 1 switch for mobility Grand Tree to get into that Lucario as early as possible. The 3 Ignition Energy with the 3 Hilda to make Mirage Barrage happen in an instant, and then the 5 basic water energy for your attacks with the Mega Starmie and the Greninja EX. For anyone who doesn't know, we can read Mega Starmie since this is the first time we're seeing it here. Nebula Beam, this attack isn't affected by weakness or resistance or the effects of your opponent's Pokemon, which means that this is basically Shred. It just goes through things, 210, Shred, and then Jet Blow. Very powerful, almost like a mini Dragapult attack. It's 1 water for 120, and it does 50 to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. You don't get to spread it as you would like. You have to deal 50 to 1, but there are some small things like a Budu on the bench that you'll be able to kill with this ability, or bigger things you'll be able to kill in tandem to popping one of the Dusclops or Dusknor along with it. This list seems very cool. I don't know if I got the brain to pilot it, but it seems really cool. I kind of want to look at the Festival League, but maybe we'll see another one later. I've only been looking at 2 from each tournament so far. I don't want to take up too much y'all's time today. This is just a small little subsect, a small example of what we're going to be seeing in the format. I'm going to leave this here because I kind of want to come back for this Mega Starmie Dusk list. It's probably really similar to this Greninja Mega Starmie Dusk list, but they only usually show 2 Pokemon at a time. So here's another one. This one's Marnie's Grimmsnarl. Here is the new Haunch card. I do want to look at this. It's Marnie's Grimmsnarl, Monkey Dory Frostlass, Mega Lucario, the Grass Pile, and then this is the new Team Rocket's Pokemon. So I know we usually look at like the first one and then another one, but we've already seen one of this list. So instead, we'll look at the 2 lists we haven't seen yet. Let's see how much grass has changed since rotation. So we have the 4 Teal Mask Ogerpon, the 2-2-2 line of the Venusaur, the 2-2-2 line of the Meganium, not playing Mega Meganium. Interesting. And then the 1 Crustle and Dwebble for being able to beat opposing big decks, kind of shutting them off or slowing them down, forcing them to play around your Crustle by using things like Boss's Order and whatnot. The Pheasantipity EX and another deck that's playing the Meowth And I think the reason why is because you're only playing one Judge, one Wally's Compassion. If they don't get caught in prize, you just want to be able to grab those, right? With something like the Meowth. You don't want to play multiple copies of Judge, and you really only need one Wally's Compassion because if you heal a Mega Venusaur one time, probably not dying. 380 is massive. That is huge. 10 basic energy, 4 force of vitality, the max rod, the 3 Terra Orb to get to those Teal Mask Ogrepons. That is your only target for it. But you do also have the bug catching sets as additional consistency. It's like a double Great Ball. You can get an energy and a grass Pokemon. The whole deck is grass Pokemon outside of the Pheasantipity and the Meowth. 4 of the Pow Pad because you're able to get and Giga Drain exactly. It's a great. I think it's got Jungle Dump, which is 240 as an attack and it heals 30. It doesn't have Giga Drain, but that's okay. The 3 Terra Orb, the 3 Ultra Ball has consistency pieces. Only 1 Night Stretcher, so if something does die and this is prize, it's gonna be really hard to get back. But a 2/2/2 line is pretty good on everything there. I like this list. It's smooth, it's simple, it's clean. It doesn't look like it's trying to do anything fancy. It's trying to be as consistent as possible, and that's probably for the best when it comes to grass. I think grass needs that consistency for it to shine the way it's supposed to. It's all about growing and being consistent. My bad. Okay, we'll look at the next one. This is the new Team Rockets list. I think this might be interesting. This is Team Rockets Honchkrow. New card coming out, and I believe this is Ascended Heroes. Maybe this is Ascended Heroes. Maybe it's our next set, Perfect Order. Rocket Feathered is 2 colorless. Discard any number of supporters that have Team Rocket in their name. This attack does 60 for each card discarded this way. So that means you have a single prize attacker that if you discard 5 cards can deal up to 300 damage. This is going to be a great way to close out Big Mon early, right? Even maybe kill a Mega by discarding a ridiculous amount of cards. Team Rocket's Factory is going to be really good here because it draws you additional cards anytime you activate a Team Rocket supporter. I think that's really important. And then you have Team Rocket's Porygon Z as the attacker to close out the game at the end. You must discard 2 cards from your hand in order to use this ability. Once per turn, you may draw a card. So this is actually this is basically shitty Ultra Ball. It lets you draw a card, but you discard 2 from your hand. But you just get the top card of your deck. But our command, Rocket's command. This card does 20 damage for each supporter that has Team Rockets in its name in your discard pile. That means at the end, this is how you are closing out a game. You're going to start from using, this is a stage 2, by the way. You're going to start with the Team Rockets Murkrow Honchkrow line and end with the Team Rockets Porygon as your final attacker to close out the game. Or, boom, you could also use the Team Rockets Articuno, 120 to something small to 1 prize trade to offset your prize trade. This deck seems really cool. I do need to see how many Team Rocket supporters is playing. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 20 names. 20 names. The 4 Team Rockets Factory to draw you additional cards for Ignition Energy, for the R Command, and and for Team Rockets Energy as well, because it's double energy as long as it's connected to a Team Rockets Pokemon, which means both Murkrow and Porygon Z's attacks will be free. You don't even have to think about them. That's really powerful. The 2 Night Stretcher to bring back your Pokemon. Everything in this deck is a non-EX, which means that Pokepad is the perfect. This is the perfect home for this deck. This is the perfect card, and yeah, I'm hoping this deck is $10. This deck is $10. If Pokemon is not the most budget card game ever, I don't know what is. Because this is an entire Pokemon deck for $10. That's so funny. That is mad hilarious. It might be a little more because, of course, we don't have market value on the Pokepad, and this is going to be an extremely popular and important card for the metagame, and it'll probably be one of those commons that Night Stretcher used to be. Night Stretcher used to be like a $2 or $3 common. Uncommon was really hard to find. This is going to be one of those cards unless the set gets opened really well. And Brightside, Pokepad will be in both of the newest sets. It will be in Ascended Heroes, and it will be in Perfect Order. So there should be hopefully tons of copies to go around. But yeah, this is Team Rocket. I like this deck. I might try this. This looks really cool to me, personally. Let's look at another City League. Let's just keep going. Once again, we're trying to find interesting stuff that we haven't seen yet. We've already looked at that. This is Crustal Cinderace. And then we also have Team Rocket's Mewtwo. We know what that looks like. Maybe we'll look somewhere else for something outside of the top 8 after. Yeah, so I think we'll look at this Crustal Cinderace list, and I see down here in 9th place, I see a Zoroark list, so let's take a look at that. So here is a Crustle. Right, Crustal's really good. Cinderace is only there to. By the way, Cinderace, you're not going to the full line. You're just trying to Turbo Flare early to get energy on your Dwebble, so that when you evolve it into Crustal, you can immediately start attacking. Or onto your Wellspring Ogerpon, same thing. With that Wellspring Ogerpon, you're able to do the Torrential Pump and do 120 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, 100 to the active. Torrential Pump is great. The 1 Terra Orb to get to that. For Crispin, Team Rocket's Petrol to search for all the different 1-ofs and 2-ofs you have as trainer cards. The 3 Mist Energy to make it even harder to kill your Crustle. Psyduck Monkey Dory to move damage over and stop the Ghost from being effective. Jumbo Ice Cream to heal it. This is a slow roll, extremely centralizing control deck that's going to be very, very annoying to play against. And as you see, it did pretty well. So I mean, hopefully there's a way that this is going to matter. There's only one Team Rocket supporter. It's as a 4 of, but that is kind of powerful, right? If you can Team Rocket's Petrol for Team Rocket's Factory and then get to another Petrol again, then every Petrol you use after that, this is a stun deck, yes. Every Petrol you use after that will draw you 2 cards and also search you the item you are looking for. I think that this is an interesting list. It did pretty well, and that's cool. I'm not a fan personally. I think stun, especially in Pokemon, is really annoying and kind of hard to deal with, but hey, that's cool. Let's take a look at this. Oh, here's another one of these. I can close out this one. There is another Mega Starmie Dusk list. So, oh, that's got the full set. So we'll leave that open. Let's look at the Zoroark list. Let's see what changes about Zoroark. So this is a Zoroark list without the new guy. Oh, no, there he is. There he is. He's right here. He's just illustration rare, so I didn't see him. I don't know why it showed this artwork, but we've got a 4-4 split of your Zora and your Zoroark, the 1 Phasandipity, the 1 Petulant, 1 Monkey Dory, 1 Badoo, and then 1 in Reshiram, 1 in Zekrom. 4 Lily's Determination, 4 of the Pokepad. Pokepad's really good in this list because it allows you to go ahead and get to your Reshiram and your Zekrom as your attackers. 1 Janine Secret Art. Don't think that card is very impactful. I can see why he's only playing 1 of it. The Brock Scouting is really good here. Gets you to multiple basics or your in Zoroark if you really need to get to that immediately. The Unfair Stamp as your A-Spec. I don't see a way to search this. So you're just trying to hard draw it off of in Zoroark. Kind of makes sense. The Air Balloon as your free retreat for your in Zoroark. The Buddy Buddy Poffin, Binding Mochi, Energy Switch. 2 of Ultra Ball. 7 Energy. Team Rocket's Watchtower to shut things down. And In's Castle to make your In's Pokemon impossible to bench lock. Or not bench lock, but active lock. I think that's really cool. Okay, this is it's a very stock standard list. I don't see any real issue with it. I'm surprised to not see them try to squeeze in the Darmanitan. But I guess it's probably not worth it. You don't really need Darmanitan anymore. It doesn't do enough when you think about how strong the Zekrom and the Reshiram will be together. So this is a good list. It's a cool list. What do we have left? Okay, so we have. Oh wow, this is a top 4. With an Okie Dokie. Not even. Oh, wow. This list has 3 Zoroarks in it. Whoa. Is that Babarnacle? Babarnacle, Okie Dokie, Festival Lead, Frostlass, Starmie, and then Dragapult. We've already seen a Slowpoke. We don't need to look at another Slowpoke. I do really want to look at this Okie Dokie list. Okie Dokie, Babarnacle. Oh, it's the Fighting Okie Dokie. Okay. I understand now. The Fighting Okie Dokie, the reason why this matters, the Fighting Okie Dokie allows you to load it up with Babarnacle. The new Babarnacle comes out in, I believe this comes out in Perfect Order or Nihil Zero in Japan. This card is going to be really impactful. Once per turn, you may attach a basic fighting energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So this allows you to ramp energy out faster. You're probably not attaching to a Stealth almost ever. Almost always you'll be attaching to your Blood Moon or Saluna as your in-game attacker. Or you'll be attaching to your Okie Dokie as your early game attacker. Okie Dokie is 130 if you don't have a Dark Energy. But if you have a Dark Energy, it gets 100 HP, so it becomes 230 for a basic, so it's still a 1-prizer. And its attack does 100 more damage, 170. This is a basic. You don't have to do anything. There's no evolving from it. Very good. And then you have the 3 Soul Rock, the 2 Lunatone. You have one Dunsparce to Dunsparce. I actually hate this line. I hate when people play a really small line of these. They feel awkward because if you prize one, then the other is completely useless. It doesn't fucking do anything. I would even try. I would even find something to cut in this item lineup to try to squeeze into. I'd even maybe cut one of the soul rocks. This list is smooth and streamlined. I'll say that though. You have the Brock scouting to smooth things out. You have this to get back all of your resources. Put any pup any comb up. Put pup to 4. Put up to 4. Is that what that means? Put up to 4 any combination of basic fighting energy and fighting Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. Why is it so fucked up, man? This is Terragon. This is basically Tulip or Canary. So we got another supporter that supports A typing. And this is going to be good for being able to get back those extra energies. I don't think energy retrieval is all that important in this list because of that. The 2 night stretches make sense. Legacy energy to make your 1 prize deck a 0 prize deck. The Brock scouting, Lily's determination. Hilda seems very good here. I'm surprised to not see Hilda to search for this legacy energy or a prism energy while you're also getting your Dunsparce, getting your Barbarnacle to be able to close out like an evolution line. I think that would be really impactful and important. You can use this card. Oh, this card is old. Okay. Hassle's old. That's fine. And this just draws you a bunch of cards. Brave Bengal's really good. Gravity Mountain to make those stage shoes weaker so you can kill them with your premium power pros. And what does Battle Harden do? Oh, it's up to 2. Oh, okay. So this is going to let you load up your Blood Moon Ursaluna really easy. Okay. This attaches 30 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So as long as you can start to deal damage to it, you get additional damage. Okay, yeah, I can see how that's supposed to work now. That is your end game attacker, and you're using the Okie Barbarnacle combo the most of the game, or attacking early with the Soul Rock, killing small things before they can evolve the 3 bosses orders. This is a good list. I really like this. Prism Energy seems like the kind of replacement for Luminous Energy, right? This is going to be the card that most people are going to be using to replace it. And this makes sense because you need that darkness energy for the Okie to be able to have that additional attack power and have the extra HP. I like this list. It's interesting. I didn't think I'd see an Okie Barbarnacle deck. This is a new 1 prize deck coming out of Perfect Order, and we'll be getting it soon. There's another one in here. There's a couple ends. Let's look at this Festival Lead deck to see how much it changes. Festival Lead loses Jet Energy, which kind of sucks. Because for a long time, if you ended up getting your Thwackey stuck in the active, it doesn't have Festival Lead. It has Boom Boom Groove. So you have to be able to get your Thwackey, your Shaman, your Psyduck out of the active before you can really start playing with this deck. But the attacker count is still really good. The rapid draw with Sea King is very strong. The do the wave attack with Diplin is really good. I played against this deck. My friend Pete plays it, and he played it really well. I only won because I was on Dragapult, and it's just a stupid fucking deck. The double judge, searchable off the Thwackies, all of these one-of supporters like the Black Belt's Training, the Tool Scrapper, the Air Balloon, all of these things are one-ofs because you just need to be able to get to them, and Thwackey will be able to search them. Thwackey is Pidgeot EX with extra steps, right? You need to have a Festival Lead Pokemon in the active spot for its ability to work. But when its ability is working, then you're going to be able to search for all of your missing pieces, whether that be the festival grounds, whether it be the support you need for the turn, an energy, a Pokepad to evolve something, like you have a Goldeen in the active, you need that Seeking to get the rapid draw. All of that makes tons of sense. I like this list. $18 for a fucking Pokemon deck. This deck is dirt fucking cheap. Another one of these super cheap decks, and that's also a 1 prize attacker deck. So now it feels like we have like 3 major 1 prize attackers decks, not including Ethan's Typhlosion, right? We have Festival Lead, we have, oh wow, we have Festival Lead, we have the Okie list now too, we have Alakazam, we have Team Rocket's Honchkrow, and we have Ethan's Typhlosion. That's 4. That's 5 1 prize decks, but we haven't seen any Ethan's Typhlosion, so I won't mention it as if it's any good particularly. Here's another one of the Team Rockets decks. Let's see if it's also playing 20 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's playing 20 names of the of the Team Rockets. So it can still hit super hard with this Command R and with the Team Rockets Honchkrow early. Okay, makes sense. We won't look into that list too much, but we will look at these new ins list and see if these new ins lists are still playing the Zekrom and Reshiram. They are. Okay. So this list is trying to still squeeze in. Oh, did this get reprinted? I'm sorry. Isn't this supposed to be... When did this get reprinted? Is this getting reprinted in... This must be getting reprinted in Mega Dream. I'm sorry. In Ascended Heroes or Perfect Order. Because this is G-Block. This is a G-Block card. This is gone. This is officially gone. But it's here still. As a one of, so not too bad, but just weird to see the 2 Judge, the 3 Siriano, 3 Boss's Order, 4 Liz Determination, 3 Pokepad, the 1 Monkey Dory, and then they just squeezed in a 2/2 line of the Darumaka and Darmanitan, but that means they took out their Gravity Mountains. That kind of sucks. Gravity Mountain is gone, and I think they were playing 2 of it, so that means they found 2 other things to cut to make this deck still have access to the Ins Darmanitan. Actually, I don't hate this attack. This attack lets you kill small things if you can get to an Ins Darmanitan plus Zoroark early, right? If this is your second turn and you're able to establish this before they can rare candy into some of their bigger cards, you can reasonably kill 2 things, 1 on bench, 1 in the active. And that's pretty impactful. Or 1 on the bench and soften up something in the active, especially in a matchup where they're not playing Monkey Dory. I could see a world where you still want to at least try to make Darmanitan work, but it does require evolving where Ins Reshiram and Zekrom don't. So, and is there anything else very interesting in here? I see a couple Flareons. I see 1 here. I saw 1 in another. So we'll maybe look at a Flareon list and see how much Flareon's changed. This is the old one. We have 3 left to go through. Wow, we've really... Oh, look, this is a Mega Meganium Ogrepon. Grass? Twice, huh? 2 grass decks. Okay, let's look at the Mega Meganium list first. So this is Meganium Ogrepon. Okay, no Mega Venusaur. Only Mega Meganium and regular Meganium. What is the attack of Mega Venusaur? I think this card's attack must be really good for people to be hinging on it. This attack does 50 more damage for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. So 70 plus 150 minimum, so 220 minimum, right? With 3 grass energy, because that's all this deck plays. No, it plays water as well for the torrential pump. Okay, but let's say in a perfect world, you have 3 energy on this that are all grass. You are doing 220, right? Is that the number I'm thinking of? 150 plus 70, 220. Sounds right. Sure. But with regular Meganium, all of your basic energy attached give 2 instead. The effective wall growth doesn't stack, but that would make 3 6 instead. So 50 times 6 is now 300. So this would deal 370. Goodness gracious, that's a lot of damage. Am I doing that right? 50 more per energy attached. 5 times 6 is 30. 30, add an extra 0, plus 70. Yes, that's right. Okay, yeah, so 150 was the base before. I was right, because half of that. Okay, that's pretty good. You have the Ogrepons with the Myriad Leaf Shower. Very normal. It's also your draw engine. The Wellspring Ogrepon to knock out stuff early, kill something on bench, kill something weak in the active. And then you're probably never using it again. The Terror Orbs to get to both of these. You have the Budu and the Pheasantipity EX. Triple Crispin to load things up and to search for energy to use for your Teal Mask Ogrepon. The Dawn to get your full lineup. This is really good too because you're playing a 3-3-2-1 split. With Dawn, you're going to be able to get to everything. Energy Switch to move things around the way you need them to be. 3 Night Stretcher. 2 of the Pokepad. 1 Pokegear to dig through your deck for these. Secret Box, Energy Search, Force of Vitality. I think Force of Vitality is very important, which is why they're playing Secret Box as the A spec. I can fully understand it. And then the 4 Bug Catching set. I like this list. It's really compact. It doesn't feel like you have too many things extra going on. There's not anything where they're trying to counter stuff. They're just trying to item lock early. And then either Ogrepon, Wellspring Ogrepon the next turn, or start building up the Teal Mask Ogre Pawn and Meganiums for the late game to close out the game quickly after establishing board presence with the Ogre Pawn or item lock with the Budew. I like this list. We've already seen a Meganium Venusaur list. We've already seen a Cynthia's Garchomp. Maybe I'll try to find something else in here that's a little new, a little different. We have Alakazam's Dunsparce. We have Mega Starmie, Frostlass, all of these things we've already seen before. So there are a lot of consistent decks we've seen, right? We've seen the Frostlass Starmie with Monkey Dory and the Mega Frostlass or Frostlass with the Starmie and Monkey Dory. Yep, there it is. We've seen the Frostlass Monkey Dory Marnie decks. We've seen Mega Lucario. We've seen Dragapult. We've seen Slowpolt without Dusk. And now there's even one down here with Noctowl. So this is like Terrapolt. And we've seen Cynthia's Garchomp. So there's a good few decks we've seen consistently across here. I guess we'll take a look at this Slowpolt deck with the Jewel Seeker engine. So it's a 4/4 line of the Hoot Noctowl. It is 3/3/2 on the Dragapult, 2 of the Ogre Pawns of the Wellspring Ogre Pawn for the early attack with the Water Energy, 2 Phantom to get to those Noctowls and Hoothoots, Lily's Clefairy EX to close out games against fighting type decks, the Pheasantipity, and the Meowth to search for all of these different supporters, right? The 1 of Lily's Determination, 1 Judge, 3 Crispin, which is way more important whenever you're playing the Ogre Pawn, the Wellspring Ogre Pawn, 3 Dawn, 2 Boss's Order, the 4 Pokepad to once again get to Hoot Noctowl and Phantom if necessary, but also hinge on getting Dracloak, the 4 Buddy Poffin, 3 Ultra Ball. I like this list a lot. The Sparkling Crystal instead of the Neo Upper Energy, because Neo Upper only works on Dragapult, while Sparkling Crystal also works on Ogre Pawn, right? So you can Crispin plus Sparkling Crystal, attach for turn, immediately attack with this Wellspring Ogre Pawn, and you end up getting to a double knockout on turn 2 if this is your first the thing you have on the bench and you didn't have to retreat anything to get into it, or if you did, the air balloon is there as well. The Area 0 to put multiple things on bench lets you load up potentially 3 Dracloaks on bench if you have an Ogre Pawn out already, or load up multiple of the Noctowls and Hoothoots, so you're going to be able to draw and search for any pieces you are missing. This deck looks hard to play. This doesn't look like, Dusk Pult. This is a hard Pult deck to play. This is a Terra deck with Pult in it instead, right? Where these would be geared to like maybe these 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards would be geared to like Eevee stuff or other Ogre Pawns. There would instead be a Pult line here. That's a hard deck for me to play. I can wrap my head around what it's trying to do in the early game and late game, but I don't know how to pilot and navigate matchups with it, right? Just by looking at it. Let's take a look at this next one. We have another Festival lead. We have a Flareon right outside of the top 4. Maybe we'll look at that because it's right outside of the top 4. Oh, this is an old one, right? Oh, hey, we're getting close to the end here. We have 2 left to look at, and one of them, okay, this is going to be weird, but there is some spooky shit here, and I want to look at it because I think this deck might be interesting. I kind of want to take a look at it. This is the new Decidueye list. Rowlet, Dartrix, Decidueye, these are all the new ones. This is an old one, actually. This is H block. Leafage, you do 10, add on, you draw a card. Okay, totally fair. This is the new Dartrix. It attacks for 20, Leafage, or Feather Shot for 3, and you discard all energy from this card. It does 90 to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and it doesn't apply weakness or resistance. It can also attack the bench. Cool. Here is 2 of the new Decidueye. If your opponent has exactly 4 cards in their hand, ignore all colorless in this energy cost of attacks used by this Pokemon. Crushing Arrow is 4 energy for 240, and you discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, or it's 1 if your opponent has exactly 4 cards in hand, which is very easily doable. This deck better be playing 4 Judge. Holy shit, it's not playing 4 Judge. Wow. Okay, so it's trying to do it with the new line with the Scatterbug, Svepa, Pavilion. Okay, and then 1 regular Decidueye, which does 170 by discarding a basic energy, or you get to draw until you have up to 7 cards in your hand. Okay, and no damage on that attack, but it's It's drawing up until you have 7 cards. That is very powerful. Here is the full list. Call for Family. For the early game stuff, you just immediately get to put a basic onto your bench. That's pretty good. If you have you are playing a one of Buddy Pop and you don't get to it, instead you do that Relicanth to allow you to use the backup attacks. Oh no. You can make this attack for free. Decidueye EX with Relicanth. Each of your evolved Pokemon may use attacks from its previous evolutions. Now, that doesn't sound that impactful, but have you read the attack of Dartrix that costs 3? Discard all energy from this Pokemon. You just don't put any on it. You can deal 90 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So that means you can bench snipe something for 90 with Decidueye as long as you've evolved it with Dartrix. Surely they're playing Force Vitality down here. Makes sense because you would like to be able to get this out as early as possible and bench snipe things that are really weak for free, for no energy at all because of Relicanth. Because as long as they have 4 cards in hand, you are completely negating that that part where it says you need 1 grass energy. Because Dartrix doesn't require grass energy, it's just 3 colorless. That's really good. It's an interesting pick. This is the new card that people are using to get people to 4 cards in an ability. Big Wings. Once per turn, during your turn, you may use this ability. Your opponent shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of the deck, then draws 4 cards. And then Blow Through for 1. If there's any stadium in play, this card does 60 more damage. So it does 120 for 1 energy if you have it in the active. Rarely. But you'll be able to, once per turn during the ability, make it so your opponent has exactly 4 cards in hand. They have to boss this up. They have to play around this. The deck's not playing Judge, which means that this is the only avenue to do that. I don't particularly like that this is the only avenue for this deck, that it's not playing any Judge as a backup plan, but a 3-3-2 split is pretty good here. The Relicanth to be able to snipe things early. You're item locking them with the Budu only as a one of. Maybe the Shaman could also be one. We're seeing this Meowth EX as well. I like this list a lot. This is an interesting deck. This is a brand new archetype, and it seems like it's got some amount of thought behind it. I don't know if it's going to be powerful enough, but at least has thought behind it. This is like some sort of an energy control list where you're trying to remove energy from your opponent's Pokemon with the Crushing Arrow. If they attack into you, Held Head Fan. Held Head Fan will remove another one of their energy. You're keeping them off energy. You're keeping their hand size low, and you're just bench sniping things or hitting things for 240 over and over and over. Boss is ordered to bring up Monkey Dories, take that darkness energy off so they can't even use it. I like this deck a lot. I would try my best personally to find room for a couple Judges, like 2 Judges as a backup plan. But the deck seems good. It seems stable. Secret Box is the A spec. I might try to build this. I'm a big fan of Decidueye. He's like one of the new generation to me favorite starters. I'm fucking 30, so anything past like Diamond and Pearl is new, right? Truly anything past Ruby and Sapphire to me is new. But Decidueye is one of my favorite new starters, and this deck seems like the perfect style of deck for a more slow rolly control game plan that I kind of have grown accustomed to. Let's take a look at another list from here, because everything else has been relatively similar. Everything is normal. There's nothing super crazy here. This list didn't do well, by the way. They got 15th place. There's probably a lot of extra things that are going to go into making this list good. Let's look at this Mega Starmie Dusk list. So this is Dragonpool 2.0. It's just Dragonpool 2.0, man. God damn it. I thought it was something cool. It's just Dragonpool 2.0. Okay, so let me explain how this list works. It's Megalophony EX 2.0 or Dragonpool 2.0. Probably more closely to Megalophony, right? It's playing a 2-2 split of the Staryu Starmie. It's playing a very thick Dusk line. It's playing the 1 Meowth as your ace supporter to grab whatever you need. Not even playing the Fez, right? Don't want an additional bench locking spot. You want to be able to get down as many of these ghosts as possible, board wipe, get things really low, and just clear the board. This is one of those early game, do as much as you can and just close out the game quickly style decks. The Budu for the turn 1 item lock, only playing a one of, I would think you'd want to see 2, so you can try to guarantee that you're going to have it. The Shame and the Latias EX, and the Blood Moon Cylinder as your in-game closer. Once again, I think we've talked about Jet Blow. Jet Blow is 1 water energy for 120, and it does 50 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. With either of the ghosts, you can get up to 180 on something on the bench, or 100 for something on the bench. Both of those pretty good numbers, especially when you're seeing that this is on a stage 1. So you're going to be able to do that relatively early in the game. You have the rare candies for the Dusk line to skip through to cheat it out. You have the 4 of POW pads or Poke pads. Sorry, you have the 4 of Poke pads to get to your full Dusk line whenever you need it, wherever you need it. The 4 Buddy Buddy Poffins, bench loaded up early. And then the 1 Ignition Energy, no Hilda, surprisingly, but the 1 Ignition Energy here for your attack, the shred attack with Mega Starmie to maybe kill something like a Pheasantipity EX. Okay, I can, or a Latias EX. I can respect this list. It's very interesting. This is basically just Megalopony. It's Megalopony, but you don't want to be a furry, so you play the star instead. That's like the easiest way to describe it, right? And you also don't have access to Jet Energy. Jet Energy's gone. So this might be the new aggro player's dream if you don't want to play Ceruledge or Lucario. I haven't seen a Ceruledge, which makes me very sad. We have one other list left. This is the last one that we want to look at today. I've spent a lot of time looking at lists. There are so many. This one is fucked up. This is what people thought the format is supposed to look like after rotation. They're like, it's going to be all Polt. Polt is going to ruin the game. Polt is going to be way too good. Yeah, this top 4 is all Polt. And it's 4 different variations of Polt. It's Terrapolt, it's Dusk Polt, it's Team Rocket's Crobat Polt, and Blaziken Polt. Let's look at the 2 we haven't seen yet, right? And I guess we'll look at 3 for this one. We'll look at the honorary mention, old school style that people have been playing a Polt for a long time. I guess we'll start with that one. Let's see what new additions have been made to it. The 4-4-3 split, the 2-1-2 split, same split I play currently, the 2 Buddy, that's what I play. 2 of the Meowth EX, crazy. That's really scary. The 1 Shaman, 1 Pheasantipity, 1 Latias. Yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense. I can respect the lineup. 1 Dawn, 1 Crispin, 1 Kieran, 1 Briar. All of those are searchable off the Meowth EX. That's why you're playing one of them. The 2 Boss and the 4 Lilies, most important, of course. The 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin, 4 Pokepad, 4 Ultra Ball, because you want to just be able to search for whatever you want, right? And you can just start getting cards back with the Dracloak, or you can get cards back with Lily's Determination. 3 Rare Candy, 2 Night Stretcher, 2 Jamming Tower. Okay, yeah, still shutting off those items. You don't want to deal with any of the Bravery Charms and all that. And then the 1 Unfair Stamp is the Ace Spec instead of the Neo Upper Energy, because you're less likely to have a way to deal with your opponent's hand, right? There's no Ionos anymore. You could probably cut the Meowth EX, 1 Meowth EX for 1 Judge. So you have a Judge to play with as well, right? If you judge your opponent to 4 cards and you have double Dracloak set up on the bench, you can still get up to 6. And then Ultra Ball, get to a Dragapult, start knocking stuff out, start taking the lead back. And even potentially Unfair Stamp them too, because Unfair Stamp is an Ace Spec, and of course Judge isn't, of course, right? Yeah, it makes so much sense. And then 7 Energy only, not even playing a Monkey Dory in the list to knock damage off the Polt, to kind of even up the prize trade and reduce damage. I think this Shaman could very easily be a Monkey Dory, and you could play a 1 less of either to play a Prism Energy, or even 2 Prism Energy, and try to squeeze in a Hilda in here. I could see that being the case. Maybe 3 Lily's Determination instead of 4, 3 Ultra Ball instead of 4, 2 Hilda, and then take one of these out for a Prism Energy. Maybe 1 of each out for 2 Prism Energy. That could be wrong. Maybe I'm stupid. Don't listen to me if you think that this list is really good. Then we have the other 2 versions of Polt that I've never fucking seen before. We just saw the Terrapolt a little bit ago, but now there is also a Team Rocket's Crobat Polt. This can't be new, right? Like, people have played this before, right? Like, okay. It does 120, and then you put this Pokemon into your hand. When you play this Pokemon to evolve one of your opponent's Pokemon, you may choose up to 2 Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on each of them. Okay, so you're softening stuff up with Team Rocket's Crobat. Early, it's got 310. Well, that's scary. This is like Hawlucha. This is a terrible fucking Hawlucha, by the way. That's what this is. It's just an awful Hawlucha. But bright side, because it's a stage 3, the Ace Spec goes back to Neo Upper Energy, and you're playing 3 Hilda, because you're playing 3 types of evolution lines. Because you're doing a 2-2-1 split. Oh, this one also puts damage counters. This one Hawlucha's as well. Okay, so Golbat is a weaker Hawlucha. And then Team Rocket's Crobat EX is a stronger Hawlucha. But because of that, you're forced to cut down on the other types of Pokemon you have. So you have a 1-1 line of the Dusks. You don't even have a 1-1-1 line. And only 1 Badoo. one Blood Moon Ursaluna as well. Blood Moon Ursaluna feels a lot worse here because you're playing less of the ghosts, so I would very easily cut that for like the third Evolve form here, or a second Budew. I would probably also cut a Carmine. I think I'd cut 2 Carmine and play an additional Boss's Order or an additional Petrol to search for these other cards here. The 1 Jamming Tower, it's very easily searchable. Petrol searches any of these things here. Yeah, there's probably a world where you play less Carmine, you play an additional Petrol, you make a bigger line of the Duskull and another Budew. But the list is interesting. The list is very interesting. I'll give it that. They were trying their hardest to find a way to replace Hawlucha, and they fucking did it, all right. They fucking did it. The 3 Countercatcher, I'm sorry, the 3 Night Stretcher as well because of the Carmines. That seems like the biggest issue, is that you're forced to play a bunch of Night Stretchers because you're playing Carmine to turbo early. If you weren't playing Carmine, you could just play double Night Stretcher or 1 Night Stretcher instead. And the Petrol is more than likely a stronger supporter in that way, because if you have Carmine and Petrol, you have to choose, and more than likely you're always going to choose the Petrol to get to something you need in that instance, instead of trying to choose the Carmine to just draw an entire fresh 5. So maybe not the greatest list. It's interesting and it did well, so I can't knock it too much, but I'm not a super big fan of this list. I think there's some changes I'd make to it, but I like the concept. I like the concept of replacing Hawlucha with another attacker, especially that's a stage 2 and can actually get value off of Neo Upper Energy and bounces itself back to hand. It's awesome. It's really cool. And last but not least, we'll look at, like I said, everyone expected Pult to just dominate the format. This is the only tournament where we've seen 4 Pults in top 4. None of the other ones were like that. We've seen a lot of Cynthia's Garchomp, a lot of Lucario. We've seen a couple Mega Sharpedos, the Froslass Monkey Dory list, the Starmie Froslass Monkey Dory lists. The Festival leads have been doing pretty well. There's a couple Alakazam Dunsparces, 2 different Team Rockets decks, and then, of course, Dragapult. Right? This deck is different, the Slow King list, but you guys all probably know what Slow King looks like already, so I won't show it. Here is another Dragapult list. This is Dragapult Blaziken, so there's not going to be any ghosts. It's essentially Slowpolt, right? We have the 4-4 line of 4-4-2 line of the Dragapult. We have the 2-1-2 line of the Blaziken line. 2 Monkey Dories to bounce damage around, 1 Psyduck to counter the ghosts, 1 Budew, 1 Shaman, 1 Tatsugiri. First time we've seen Tatsugiri back in these Dragapult lists, and the 1 of the trump card catch Meowth, of course. Very good new card. 3 Lilies, 3 Boss, 3 Dawn, and then the 1/1/1s of the ones you're probably going to search off of Meowth. You have the 1 Crispin, the 1 Team Rockets Petrol, and the 1 Judge. All of those make a lot of sense. The Unfair Stamp to search off of the Petrol, the Pokepad early to search off the Petrol, 3 Ultra Ball, 3 Rare Candy, 2 Night Stretcher. Team Rocket's Watchtower is really good, especially versus a lot of the Terra Box decks and things like that. Switch, I guess it's just for a little bit of mobility. It's something you can search off of Petrol, may as well. And then a 6 energy line, 3-3-2 for the Monkey Dories. I can respect it, right? You really need to make sure you have a 3-3 split because you have 2 different attackers, both of them requiring fire energy. And not playing the Neo Upper, I do think not playing the Neo Upper here feels bad because you have 2 attackers that are both stage 2s. And they both do 200 damage, right? Like this one does 260 when you really think about it. But both doing 200, both are stage 2s. Neo Upper feels like it would be perfect synergy there, but probably just want to have more hand disruption. This list is different because as you see here, they're not playing Pheasantipity. Everyone says Pheasantipity is the best card in the format, choosing to play the tech cards to beat some of the other styles of decks in the format, like the Wellspring Ogre with the Shaman, or the Psyduck to beat the Ghost line instead. But that is all of the Pokemon lists we've looked at. We looked at so many. Holy shit. If I upload this whole thing to YouTube, it's going to be so long. But I just wanted to look at some of the things that happen post-rotation to see what decks are doing well. And as you can see, there's a lot of Pult in here. But there's also a lot of other decks. These were all tournaments from the same day. They were all on the 25th of December. So that's 25th of January. So that's like today. That was like today? I'm confused. That doesn't make any sense. What? I'm looking at my watch and it says the 25th of January. Anyways, these are all very recent lists, very recent tournaments. A lot of good stuff in here. A lot of things to look forward to in the Pokemon TCG in the near coming future. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTubes. If you guys have enjoyed this and want to see me look at Pokemon TCG things more, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let me know that these videos are something you want to see, so that I know to keep putting them out and talking about the things I like to see in the format and the things that we're seeing from the Japanese side of the format that will eventually come to America. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTubes, signing out and saying